Oh yeah. The flavour in these is amazing. You've got to try them.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Hey again guys, I had an absolute shed load of views on my video and it's only been like 2 days, just over 2 days. Thank you so much for watching the video. You know, I really enjoyed making it and I thought to myself, well, I need to make another video as soon as possible because I was plugging the first one on Facebook and, you know, various different social networking sites, but I can't just keep plugging the same one. Watch my video. Watch my video. Watch the same video. Watch the same video again. So here is video number 2. And this video is going to be on the not just yet. The Cool Fire 2 by INNOKIN or INNOKIN. Okay, so not only am I going to be doing a review on just the Cool Fire 2, but I'm also going to be doing a review on the iClear 30B tank. Also going to be doing a review on the Kangertech ProTank 3 dual coil. The only reason why I'm going to be doing a review on all 3 of these products in the same video is because when I first started using the Cool Fire 2, it was good and I really enjoyed using it, and it's what finally got me completely off the SIGs. I've just sort of tested out with a couple of different atomizers. You know, I kind of sort of customized it a little bit and in my opinion made it slightly better. But at the end of the day though, it is completely up to you how you want to do it. But I just thought I'd have a bit of a mess around and see if I could make my experience even better than it had already become just from switching from the T3S and the CE4 that I was using, which I did in my last video. Anyway, I got the iClear 30B tank with the Cool Fire. Right now, let's get down to it, get to what you want to see, the Cool Fire. So I've been vaping for about 1.5 years now, and I've gotten to the point where my old device, which was the Kangertech T3S and the CE4, I've been using both those devices. They were both getting a bit old and, you know, haggard. I was looking for something a little bit better. So I went to my local vape shop, Viking E-Cigs in Lichfield. They're also online, there's a link just below now. I went and spoke to Max and Hugh. Both of them really, really helpful guys. Both of them know what they're talking about. I told them my issues, said what I was looking for, and they pulled out the Cool Fire 2. This was the box that they handed me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wow, it's so cool, but it's on fire. And the only thing now left for me to do before I actually get in here and show you it is to just show you the box. So you've got the front of the box there. You know, you've got the Cool Fire logo, INNOKIN up in the top corner there. You know, and a couple of little bits of information on the front of the box as well. You know, that's what the side looks like. I got the black one, which is why it's got the tick on the black. You can also get it in jungle camo as well, and you'll get an idea of what that looks like when I pull it out of the box. There's the bottom of the box, again, just more information in the Cool Fire logo, and, well, the other side is just blank, so it's a bit boring. Let's get in there! When you open the box, you will be greeted by an instruction manual and your Cool Fire. We'll take the instruction manual away because, let's face it, that's what I'm trying to explain to you now. Take a good look at the Cool Fire. It's already got juice in it because I've been using it. I've just packaged it up how I found it, and this is what you get. Take a good look at the Cool Fire 2.
You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow.
Let's get it out of the box.
Black and yellow.
So on first glance of the Cool Fire 2, it looks pretty bad boy, to be honest. I thought to myself, like straight away, oh my god, I have to have one of these. I have to have one. It's big, it's bulky, it's got some weight to it. I quite like having weight to my devices. When you're spending, you know, excess of about £30 on a device, you want it to have some, you know, some physical substance to it. And if you're buying something that's 30, 40, 50 pounds, you don't want something that's just like picking up an empty plastic bottle of water. So I'm going to unscrew the iClear 30B atomizer and just run you around the actual Cool Fire 2 device itself. There we go, it looks a little bit like a grenade. People keep calling it the, oh, is it the one that looks like a grenade? We'll go with that if you like. As you can see, it's small. It does only fit the 18350 size batteries. So when you unscrew the bottom cap, there's your bottom cap, that's quite sturdy as well. If the camera will focus in on it and you can actually see, it's just got the INNOKIN logo and an arrow pointing in which direction to turn it. Your 18350 battery slides out. This is a smaller battery than the 18650, so it just doesn't last as long. If you can see inside it, you've got your connections and your battery compartment. So I'll just put my 18350 battery back in. I'm going to hold it like this and just watch the power button, the firing button, when I plug this end cap back in. See how it's flashing? As you can see, the power button flashed when I plug the battery in. Now it flashes red, yellow and green. Red obviously means that your battery is dead and you need to charge it. Yellow means that your battery is half full, and green means that you've got good power coming out of your battery. Once your battery's in and you've got your atomizer on top, you're pretty much ready to go. This is a variable wattage device, but it's not a variable voltage device. You can change the wattage but not the voltage. I don't think you can really see it, but you can go from 12.5 watts down to 7. I just like the way it feels when you twist it. With your variable wattage, you can basically just tune in the performance of the device. Can you hear my rabbit drinking in the background? So ignorant. Get one more quick look around the device for you. Cool Fire 2. Cool Fire 2. Just the logo in itself looks pucker. Okay guys, just a quickie. That's your instruction manual there. You've got information on both sides. I've just noticed it says on the back here, this is a vaping device only. Due to the shape of this device, there may be some confusion about its function. That just tells me that somebody out there, somewhere, has sat there and probably put a video on YouTube complaining. Well, I bought this device from my local vape shop and I thought, what's vape mean? And then I bought it because it looked like a grenade, but then I threw it at my sister and it didn't explode, but it did give her a bloody great bruise on her forehead. I got nothing against the Welsh. I just like to do accents, I do. Quick side note, I just like to do accents, okay? I'm not taking the mick out of anybody before anybody starts commenting and going, oh, every time you do this, you always do this specific accent. It's nothing to do with that. I just have fun doing accents. Sometimes I'm good at them, sometimes I'm... There is some more information available. All you got to do is read through the instruction booklet, but let's face it, if I spend the next 20 minutes reading through that, you're all going to switch off and go and watch something else. So let's get down to it. Like the devices that I had in my last video, this is pretty much the same, but rather than 5 clicks to turn it on and off, it's only 3. If you can see this, when I click it 3 times to turn it on, it will flash red, yellow and green. As long as you get a red, yellow and a green flash, it means your battery's full and ready to go. If you just get a red flash, it won't work, so you need to charge your battery, wait until it's charged full, and then bring it back in. Next, the iClear 30B. It's got a clear polycarbonate tank cartomizer. In the bottom here, it's got a replaceable 1.5 ohm coil. But the one thing that really impressed me about this, and this really is just sort of like an icing on the cake thing, 360 degrees rotatable stainless steel drip tip mouthpiece. One last quick thing before we actually plug this bad boy in and have a vape. The bottom of this device, the part that I'm holding now, that's the bit that unscrews. You fill this up from the bottom, okay? And then you pull that off, so you've got the 2 pieces. You pour your e-juice liquid into the cartomizer, okay? You can see the steel hollow tube inside the cartomizer. Do not pour your e-juice into that tube. That is the tube that all of your vapor comes up through. If you pour your juice into that tube, you will get a mouthful of e-juice. It's not nice. Once you put your juice inside and you haven't put it into that hollow steel tube, time to screw the bottom cap on. Once it's on, you're ready to go. So there you have it, the Cool Fire 2 with the iClear 30B stainless steel with black stripes cartomizer. I've got this set to 7.0 watts, so 7 watts. Let's see what I can do at that wattage. You might be wondering why I took so many pulls until I actually inhaled the vape. There is a good reason for that. From the first pull that I took, the flavour just ate away at my taste buds. I mean, it just bursts into your mouth. This is coming from somebody that's used to using drip atomizers now, RDAs and mechanical mods. Flavour-wise, that was beautiful. Okay, so that was set to 7 watts, full battery in here. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to up the wattage and see what happens. It goes up in these measurements: 7.0, 8.0, 8.5, 9.0, 9.5, 10.5, 11.0, 12.0, 12.5. 12.5 is the highest wattage that you can use on this device. Rather than just go up by point by point by point either time, because I don't think I'll be able to tell the difference if I'm just going up tiny little intervals, I'm gonna now bump it up to 10.5. Twist that bad boy around. Okay, that's now set to 10.5 watts. Let's see the difference. Immediately you're seeing more vape. As soon as I up the wattage on this device, you get more vape, more of a throat hit, but it relinquishes the flavour ever so slightly. Let's bump it up to 12.5. Okay, so I'm set to 12.5 now. The jump from 10.5 to 12.5 watts, flavour-wise, I can't really tell a difference, it stays the same. Now from 10.5 to 12.5, I thought that the flavour had relinquished from the flavour that I was getting when it was set to 7, but when you're set to 7 watts, you don't get as much vape. So the physical vape of what you've just inhaled, you can't see as much, but the flavour is really, really good. Yet when you bump it up to 10.5 watts to 12.5 watts, you can physically see what you just inhaled a lot more. I'm loving that 360 rotational drip tip. Absolutely incredible. Really, the rotational drip tip is just a personal preference thing. I just find it slightly easier when it's on an angle, because when you have it straight, you're more sort of... I don't know if I want to do that on camera. Yet when it's at an angle, you can just be a bit more classique. Okay guys, so that's the Coolfire 2 with the iClear 30B cartomizer on top. Now I'm going to test it out with the ProTank 3 dual coil. The Kangertech ProTank 3 dual coil, guys. Okay, this is the box it came in. So when you open up the box, I don't have nails, so it's a bit of a mission for me. When you do get it open, that is what you'll see. Along again with the instruction manual, which got caught in the box. So that's what you'll see. You've got your tank, you've got your wick and coil compartment, and then this ring here, if you're using a smaller battery device, i.e. the starter kit battery, because this will work on the starter kit battery, this little ring here, you just screw onto the top of your device and then screw the ProTank on top, and it just makes the whole device look a little bit more flush. Battery from my last video. ProTank 3 on my Ego T with no ring on the bottom of it. ProTank 3 dual coil on the Ego T with the ring on. As you can see, it just looks a lot more flush than it did before, so it's more of a style thing than anything else. If you're screwing this device onto the Coolfire 2 like I will be in a second, you won't need that bottom ring because it just fits flush anyway. Without going too far into it, this device fits together pretty much exactly the same as the iClear 30. If you do end up buying one of these, all I would say is before you do anything, i.e. filling it up with juice or anything like that, you just turn it upside down and unscrew the bottom cap. Just make sure that the coil and wick compartment is screwed in nice and tight. When the manufacturers package this device and send it out to everybody, they don't tighten the coil and wick piece, okay? They just place it in there. So if you don't tighten it and you pour your juice in and then you put it onto your Coolfire or whatever other device that you're using, you will find that it just leaks everywhere. So please, please, please make sure that you tighten that wick and coil compartment in nice and tight. Otherwise you're just going to end up with either a mouthful of juice or juice all over your hands. Right, well I'm sending this back because it's shit. Unlike the iClear 30B, this drip tip that's on top of the ProTank, it doesn't rotate, but the cool thing I like about it is it's detachable. And that means that you can put any tip on it that you want to. It's just your preference. Let's put it on there and see what happens. As you can see, the Kangertech ProTank 3 dual coil fits onto the top of that Coolfire 2 real nice and flush, okay? So you're not going to have any sort of vanity issues with how it looks. I think it looks really, really nice. But I bet you want to see how it vapes. Exactly the same as before with the iClear 30B, I'm going to start off at 7.0 watts. So let's do it. That flavour, you get me. So 7.0 watts, it's pretty much the same amount of vape production as the iClear 30B tank was. The taste, it's just fabulous. So I'm going to bump her up to 10.5.
sway inside. My engine roaring, it's the big boy. You know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal. Got you niggas checking game. I'm balling out on every level. Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you could.
I'm finding at 10.5 watts on this tank that the flavour is still there. It's still as good as it was at 7.0 watts. And you do get a bit more vape production as well. So let's bump it up to 12.5 and see what happens. Guys, I'm finding that the flavour in this is holding. It's relinquished slightly, but it's holding. I'm still getting that fresh burst. It's not quite eating away at me as much as it was with the iClear 30B, but it's holding and it's being a little bit more consistent. Okay, so with the Kangertech ProTank 3 dual coil, the tank is Pyrex glass, okay? With the iClear 30B, it's a clear polycarbonate tank, okay? So those are the differences. Glass tank, clear polycarbonate tank. Some people say that they can taste a difference with the polycarbonate tanks. Some people say with the glass tanks that they don't get any sort of unwelcome flavours at all. They just get pure flavour from the juice. Like I said, when I was just testing out the ProTank 3, the flavour up at 12.5 watts, it only relinquished slightly, whereas it relinquished quite a lot with the iClear 30B. Just want to get that shot in there so that you can see the difference between the two. The iClear 30B is a slightly bigger tank. Like I said though, it's clear polycarbonate, whereas the ProTank is Pyrex glass. Okay, so I've tested out the iClear 30B and the ProTank 3 dual coil, both on the Coolfire 2, and I tested it from 7.0 watts all the way up to 12.5, and explained all the differences that I found with the different tanks, different wattage, blah 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 blah. I'm a drip enthusiast. I like RDAs and I like mechanical mods, which means I have loads and loads of drip tips lying about. I've got different types, plastic ones, metal ones, etc, etc. So I thought, well, because the ProTank 3 has the removable drip tip, why don't I test out a couple more drip tips on it? So that's exactly what I did. I purchased this handmade drip tip from Viking e-cigs, went in, spoke to Max and Hugh, sorted me out straight away. Good guys. This drip tip is handmade, and they're made by a company called Vape Time. They've got a website just down there, and they're on Facebook if you want to check them out. facebook.com/vapetime.inc. So I got my handmade drip tip, placed it on my ProTank. Fits real nice and flush, and I think it looks really cool, to be fair. So I'm going to vape on it at 7.0 watts. You can instantly tell at 7.0 watts, physically there is a lot more vape coming out when I exhale. I'm not sure why. I'll be completely honest with you. But when you can get these from Viking e-cigs, that's where I got it from, for £4. £4! And they're handmade. It's keeping the flavour at 7.0 watts, and I'm getting more vape. So if you're one of these people that thinks you're going to get into cloud chasing, and you've just packed in your starter kit, and you've bought a Coolfire, or anything along those kind of lines, I really would suggest getting one of these handmade drip tips. I'm going to bump it straight up to 12.5.
To start, yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big, yeah. Screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot, that's not. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds, I'm in black and yellow.
I can even do an angry dragon. Almost. I just find it incredible the difference that that tip makes. I don't know what it is, like I said, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it's doing, but at 12.5 watts it's holding the flavour, it's holding the vape, and I've got more vape out of it at 7.0 watts. So personally I think it's worth going out and buying one of these handmade drip tips if you've gone and purchased a variable voltage or variable wattage device, especially with the Kangertech ProTank 3 dual coil. I mean, it It's just really nice. After I went in and spoke to Max and Hugh down at Viking e-cigs in Lichfield, and I told them the difference that it made for the good, Hugh instantly handed me a King Kong drip tip. Now I'm going to be doing a review on that in my next video, but I have been vaping on it for the last sort of 3 or 4 hours on the Coolfire with the ProTank, and it's really nice. But I'll go into more detail in the next video with how that one's going. So today I've done the Coolfire 2, the iClear 30B tank that comes with the Coolfire, the Kangertech ProTank 3 DualCoil with the removable drip tip, then Vape Time's handmade drip tips. You can get hold of the Coolfire 2 and the iClear 30B all in the same package from Viking e-cigs for £45. Personally, I bought this device anyway, but if people were looking to get a better vape and get away from the starter kit because it's not really working out for them, or they're bored of it, or they've had it for ages and they just want to move on, I really would suggest getting one of these. You can get it in black or you can get it in a camo green. Both of them are really sexy. The Kangertech ProTank 3 DualCoil, however, it will come separately. You will have to buy it separately. Again, you can get it from Viking e-cigs. There will be a link in the description, and one came up earlier on in the video. But you can buy one of these. It's £14. Personally, I think that's a great price for what this device does, especially when you change that drip tip over. It's absolutely incredible. Pros to this device, okay? First of all, it looks pretty cool, okay? It's got a cool logo, quite weighty if you like your weighty devices. I do, you may not, so, you know, you may not find that as a pro as much. I do, I like it. Nice clicky button. And it's got a good indication of your battery levels as well. All you got to do is click the button and it'll tell you how much battery you've got left. Green, loads. Yellow, half full. Red, you got no battery. The variable wattage, you know, this plays a very big part in this device. You know, if you want more flavour but less vapour, bump it down to 7.0 watts. If you want more vapour and less flavour, bump it up to 12.5. Anything else is your preference. It's not that expensive, and you get a tank with it as well, all for £45. £45, and you get the Coolfire 2 and you get the iClear 30B tank, which is a great tank. It's durable. I can't really see myself throwing it around at anybody, unless I was the Welsh guy from before who threw it at his sister. I can't see myself throwing it around, but it's, you know, it's strong, it's weighty, it feels like you've got something in your hand, it's really comfortable to hold. And again, like I say, it just looks cool. Maybe that's why it's got cool in the name. Coolfire. So yeah, for the price that you're paying, it is well worth it. Cons. It only fits an 18350 battery, so your battery life will not last as long as it would with an 18650 battery. It's not a telescopic device, so you can't change the size of the battery that you put in there. It only fits an 18350 battery. If you're not a fan of weight, this probably isn't the device for you, okay? It's very weighty, and when you put it in your pocket, it does just look like you're trying to show off a large... Yeah, so yeah, it's quite big and it's quite bulky. That's why I wouldn't carry it around with me. But if you just want to sit at home, chill out, have a vape, watch TV, this thing is great, okay? It's well worth the money that you spend. Last con that I found with this, the threads, okay? Now, the threads are... they're not amazing, okay? They're squeaky, you can feel them, you can hear them. The threads aren't amazing, and that's just on the top cap. On the bottom cap, they're even worse, okay? I don't know if you can hear this, but you can really hear and feel the threads scraping against each other to get in and out. They go in straight away and it comes out straight away, but you can really hear it, and it's just not very comfortable. It's kind of like that sound that you get when somebody scratches their nails down a blackboard. Not good if you're not good with those sounds. But really, those are the only cons I found about it. If you just want to get off your e-cig and you want something a little bit better, this device is fantastic. Pros and cons on the iClear 30B. Pros. Biggest pro on this thing for me is the 360-degree rotating drip tip. I absolutely love that. I think it's brilliant. It's just a more comfortable fit when you're actually vaping. And like I said before, you can either look a bit more classic, or you can look like you're about to begin a porno. Totally up to you though, however you want to do it. With the clear polycarbonate tank, I personally haven't tasted any unwanted flavours coming from the tank itself. Other people I've spoken to have, but that just could be how sensitive your taste buds are to something. It looks nice, it's big and bulky, it feels sturdy in your hand. It's got 510 connection, fits on all of my mods that I've got. The threads are really nice and smooth, you know, unlike the ones on the Coolfire, which are, you know, like I said, a bit... Cons on this thing, because it fills up from the bottom, you have to turn it upside down. When you do turn it upside down, and you unscrew, I find it a little bit of a pain in the arse after you've put your juice in and you have to screw it back in again on top. Because there's juice in the threads, I don't know if you can see, but there is a little lip of juice around where the tank meets the bottom cap. To me that's annoying, because then you got to find some tissue to wipe it off, and if you're not in a place where you've got tissue, you got to do it with your trousers, and then if you're using the same juice I'm using, which is you know, very colourful juice, you're just going to end up staining your clothes. And then you're going to walk around with, well, this juice is bright red, so it just looks like I've gone around and killed someone. So yeah, that is a con. The other con that I found with it as well is that you can't remove this drip tip. I love the fact that it's a 360-degree rotating drip tip. That's really awesome. But the fact you can't remove it, before I used the Kangertech ProTank 3, where I can remove the tip, I probably wouldn't have commented on it. But after using the Kangertech 3 and then putting that Handmade drip tip on it, and being able to change the tip and seeing the difference that it made, that really made me think, wow, this would just be so much better if I could remove the tip. But yeah, if this is what you're moving on to from your starter kit, I personally think you'll really enjoy it. Especially when you're getting it with the cool fire and you're not having to pay extra money for it. Okay, so pros and cons on your Kangertech ProTank 3 with the dual coil. Personally, I really like this tank. I've really enjoyed using it, and I want other people to experience what I've experienced with it, which I'll get onto a little bit later. But it comes separately. It's £14, which I personally think is a great price for it, but you won't get it with any of the other devices that you're buying. If you're buying a Coolfire 2 or something like that, you won't get it with it. You will have to pay extra, but you do get your money's worth. Pros about this: glass tank. Glass tank is fantastic. I really like it. Like I said, I didn't experience any unwanted flavours in the iClear 30B, but there is a difference. You just get more of a flavour coming off the ProTank with that glass tank. Another pro for it is the removable drip tip, and being able to put that Handmade drip tip on top of there, which made my experience so much better. Again, another pro, it's strong, it's sturdy. You feel like you've got £14 worth of equipment in your hand, if not more. Cons: because this is a bottom fed atomizer, meaning that you put your liquid in from the bottom, I find I've got the same problem with this as I did with the iClear 30B. You end up with just a ring of juice all around the outside of the bottom where the bottom cap meets the tank. Again, if you haven't got any tissue on you or anything like that, you have to wipe up your clothes or you get it on your hands, and like it's just annoying, okay? That's what I find anyway. The other con that I found with this as well is when I screw it onto my Coolfire, and this is why it's got no liquid in it at the moment. I put it onto my Coolfire, okay? It's not on there, it's nice and safe, nice and sturdy, it's not going to come off or anything. Then when I came to unscrew it, I unscrew, the bottom cap is still on the Coolfire, meaning that when I lifted the tank off, all of my juice went everywhere. Again, if I'm not in a place where I've got tissue in hand, like if I'm out in town or something like that and I need to refill quickly, you know, I stop at a bench, unscrewing it, what are you supposed to do? Again, I had red juice in here. I could be walking around looking like I've just walked off the set of a Wes Craven movie. Not cool anymore anyway, I don't know. Depends what you're into. So yeah, that was a big con I found with this. Again, it goes back to the Coolfire when I was talking about the threads. The threads are very stiff on it. So basically, when you're unscrewing this from a Coolfire, make sure you really get into the bottom and twist it all the way from the bottom, and twist the Coolfire itself. Then you make sure that all of the tank is going to come off, and you're not going to end up with a bit of the tank still left on the bottom and juice just absolutely everywhere. Now that all that lot's done, it's going to lead me on to the good stuff for you guys. Giveaways! Giveaways! So this leads me to my first competition. Okay, I'm going to be giving away my Kangertech ProTank 3 with the dual coil built inside. If you like the look of this and you like the look of what it did in the video, I'm going to be giving this away. There's a competition on Instagram. There is my Instagram name. Just follow the instructions because all the information for it is up there now, okay? Get yourself on Instagram, check out @VaporChase. This bad boy is going to get given away, and I'm also going to give away not one, not two, but 3 juices, all from Viking e-cigs, okay? The winner can choose the flavour of the juices that you want, you can choose the strength of nicotine that you want, and it's all to go with this Kangertech ProTank 3 with the dual coil. And as soon as I've got all of those devices, I will get in contact with you to get your shipping address, and we'll get all this stuff off to you. Goody, 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 goodies. I'm even going to throw in the Handmade drip tip so that you can see for yourself the difference that it makes. Right then guys, it's that time. I'm going to let you go now. thank you so much for watching. It's been awesome making this video. Thank you so much for all the views on my last video and for the comments as well. It's been great. Get following me on Instagram. Find out the information for this competition. It'll save you a little bit of money and you can test out all these new things that you may not have tried before. This video isn't necessarily for people that are just getting into vaping. It's more for people that have been on their starter kits for quite a while now and are getting a bit bored of it, okay? The reason I'm giving away the Kangertech tank is because it will fit flush on your Ego T battery or any starter kit battery, okay? And you get that little ring that comes with it that makes it look flush on your starter kit battery, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll have another video for you next week. You'll have to keep posted on Instagram to find out what it's going to be about. I've been Vapor Chase. Thanks for watching and happy vaping.
You know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah. Screaming that's not. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town. When you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Seriously, these things are so good. Like, you really, really, really do need to get some. I think it's because I quit smoking now that all my taste buds are starting to come back to life again. It's only a benefit.